Welcome, everybody, to the PCMA Capital Chapter's first Coffee and Conversations put on by our Emerging Leaders and Emerging Professionals Committee. I am so excited to have a conversation today with Visit Detroit's very own Sheila Neal, who is the Associate Director of Sales for Visit Detroit. Welcome, Sheila. It's so great to have you here.
It's so great to be here. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. And I am so excited to get a little bit of insight from you and your journey and your career and talk with you as we present to some of the emerging professionals in our industry. And you are currently in the amazing city of Detroit, and I'm here in Washington, D.C. So all the wonders of the virtual abilities that we have today. So why don't we start there, Sheila? How did you get your start in the industry, in the business events industry?
It's so funny. I never thought I would be in hospitality. My background is accounting, and I love numbers. So anything to plan events, plan numbers, and kind of put budgets together is my forte. And I had a president who saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. And so while I was working in that capacity, he thought it would be a great idea for me to transition over to sales. So I started off in marketing, then I transitioned over to special events, and then I moved over to sales. And sales was a different beast. I did not want to take on sales. I did not think I was a salesperson. First and foremost, if it didn't have numbers to it, I thought it was not me. But once again, someone saw something in me that I didn't see in myself, which is great.
That is awesome. Yeah, I know. I think, nobody really ever grows up quite to be like, I want to be in the business events industry when they're younger. So it's like, it's a great story. And I went to school for film, so I did not think that I would be in this industry, and I absolutely love it.
Oh,
So that
wow.
is
Go see you in film.
awesome.
I can
Yeah.
see you in film.
Oh, behind the camera, not in front. But yeah, here we are, right? So what is your current role, and what do you do as Associate Director of Sales?
So, as Associate Director of Sales, there's a couple of capacities. There's some mentorship in my role, but there's also relationship. Everything's about relationships, partnerships. So, first and foremost, having a great relationship with the hotel community and bonding with them and actually putting together packages to go over national conventions. The second is partnerships with different industry organizations, such as PCMA, who we absolutely love, who's been a great partner of ours. And on so many levels, I know my vice president, Susan Richardson, is actually in Sweden right now, or Switzerland rather, partnering with PCMA. So partnerships are extremely important with us. And then we have partnerships with other industry executives. And that's important for us to make sure that Detroit stays cutting edge and we stay intact as far as what needs to happen. Lastly is presentations and going out and presenting the insides and outsides of what happens in our industry. So I do that locally. Whether it's with our hotel partners or with political entities that are important for us to build packages that come to our destination, but also going and visiting other destinations and telling them what's going on in Detroit. So all of that is encompassed in actually making a sale.
That is not a small job at all, but
It's
that is
fun.
incredible. And you guys do a great job. I remember for anybody that has been at Convening Leaders, Visit Detroit has brought one of their youth choirs each year to present at the keynote, and it is just spectacular. So
We love
there is a lot going on there. So it's such a fun job to do. So congratulations on the journey. Um, as we talk to folks that are coming into the industry or developing their careers, what kind of advice would you have for them? It's a lot different than when we came in, I think, but I think what advice would you give folks that are coming into the industry today?
There's a lot of things I probably would ask them to look at themselves. First and foremost, find out what you're good at. Find out where your passion is. I think sometimes we see a career and want a career based on the salary, but I think you have to look at first and foremost what's important to you, what's important to your community, and what you can look at from your own perspective on how you can make a difference, not only in your local entity, but in the world. And I think if you take those three things into consideration, there are some careers that you can go into. I never thought hospitality would make an impact in the community, but we do. I love it
Yeah.
when I see different servers or different ones that are working, actually cleaning the hotel rooms, housekeeping, and come back and say, what convention's coming into town? So you never realize how you make an impact in the community because they have families and they look to you to actually help support the community. But also, I would tell them to look for different nuances to make sure they're innovative. Technology, who would have ever thought we would all become Zoom queens and kings? So things have changed. They have changed drastically. So making sure technology is in the forefront and making yourself very versatile and flexible to be able to adapt and be agile to how the world changes so that you can jump in wherever necessary to be impactful to your company, to your family, and to the world.
Yeah, it's such a great point. And it's, I don't know that a lot of people realize that hospitality in general and business events really impact almost every aspect of a community and the globe. We are, you know, planning events kind of sets the stage for people to come together and create. And it impacts right down from your taxi cab drivers to your bellman, doorman. I mean, all of them play a role in the ultimate experience. So it's really important to know that it's a critical element there, and that's what makes it so exciting.
I know. It's like we're the heartbeat and people don't even realize it.
Yeah, it is. It is. Um, it's just so exciting. Uh, so what do you see as some new jobs? I know you were just mentioning technology, and that is so critical these days. And whether or not you were technologically advanced or not, I don't know, somewhere in the middle, but you kind of get thrust into this new era, and it's really critical. But what kind of skill sets and new jobs do you see coming in the future for the industry?
Wow. I see some innovative things coming into the industry. I think of first and foremost an experience creator. I see people looking for exciting experiences, not only from a travel experience, a tour experience, but just a work experience. So I think experiential or experience oriented jobs are going to be big on the list. I know we just hired a person that is solely focused on creating experiences that you could not get anywhere else, but only in Detroit. So that's one. Also, from a technology standpoint, looking at our phones, we do so many things, from site visits to talking to clients to putting things together. I think apps are going to be huge. They're big now, but I think that's going to be another technology flourishing where there's going to be apps, more apps for everything, just to make sure it's more user friendly. And last but not least, I think there's going to be a huge component of the diversity perspective. I think every company is going to look for an intuitive or intentional way on how they can give back from a diversity perspective, whether it's to children or whether it's to the elderly and everything in between. I think when we talk about diversity of thought, sometimes we always look at color, but there's so much into diversity. So I think you're going to see roles popping up in a lot of national and affluent organizations where you're going to have a diversity representative. So there's so many jobs that are being literally, I think, created just from the conversations that people are having today.
Oh, yeah, it's a really exciting point. I think that is kind of the silver lining of what we've just been through, is that we've had this opportunity, or we have this opportunity to really reinvent what it means to meet. It's a multi-dimensional experience now, and the ability for us to kind of change and create and include and bring in more people to the table, more diverse voices, bring accessibility into the mainstream, and kind of blend the needs for different generations. You are spot on, and it's so exciting. It's really,
I,
really a great future that we have.
I can't imagine. I can't wait to see us 10 years from now, and we're just going to have the same conversation, really 5 years from now. What new jobs are there? What new thoughts are there? What's the new trending word? Before it was pivot, what'll be the word for next year? So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We should already schedule that and be like, we'll be meeting in 10 years and we're going to take this one out and see how we did. Yeah.
We'll put it on the
That is
calendar.
awesome. Okay, yeah, sounds good. Awesome, awesome. So true. So with that in mind, thinking of like time capsules, if you will, if you had the opportunity to go back, what would you tell your younger self?
Interesting. I would tell my younger self probably to travel more earlier. And my reason for it is I think sometimes we have been so conditioned that immediately after you come out of high school to go straight to college and then straight to college to get a job. And one of the things that I admire about my son is he wanted to make sure he saw some of the country before he got his education. So I would probably tell myself, because I love traveling, to see the world a little bit more and enjoy it without the challenges of a family first and kind of experience it, do you know what I mean, in all its
Oh,
totality. And then, bring all of that of yourself to the table before you start going into some other things. So that's what I would tell my younger self. See the world first.
such great advice. I will say it's a passion to travel, and I mean it just opens you up to outside of your world, outside of your comfort zone, to learn all these different cultures and people, and it's an incredible world out there to go adventure and see, and it's very rewarding. So it's great advice.
Yeah, and I think our
Um,
country helped us with that. So we get to still see the world in our role. So that's a positive, but I probably would want to see it a little sooner.
yes, I would agree with you. I still have a lot on my bucket list, so I need to
Right?
start moving. Absolutely. Oh, this has been so great. Talking with you, Sheila, is always, I get so excited because your joy and your energy. This has been fantastic. So thank you so much for your time and being our inaugural coffee and conversations. Um, I'm John Ripsamen, current president of the PCMA Capital Chapter. Thank you so much for joining us, and tune back in because we'll have more coffee and chats in the future. Have a great day. Take care now.